I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
A few months ago, we passed the 20th anniversary of a late 90s classic and one of my favorite films, Deep Rising. Released in 1998, the mid to late 90s were full of aquatic-themed monster movies. It was a curious time where fears manifested in different ways. Snakes, aliens, crocodiles, rap rock. 1 year before director Stephen Sommers launched to stardom with the fun action horror comedy The Mummy, he tried his hand at what should have been a winter action hit with Deep Rising. As with many movies of its time, and well, let's be honest, good about now, the plot's a bit thin and somewhat cliched. A group of people stuck in a confined area chased by a monster. This shouldn't have worked as well as it did, but I gotta hand it to him. It's a hell of a time. Our transport crew, led by the always likable Treat Williams, are hired on to get a group of mercenaries to an unknown location in the middle of the South China Sea. The plan is to rob a stranded luxury cruise, only to find the crew and passengers missing, while something else is aboard with them. Seeing what would be a bunch of side characters owning a big budget film is great. Can we finally admit that Treat Williams is horribly overlooked as the lead here? Not only does he stand his ground, but actually proves that he has the skill set to lead his own blockbuster film. Witty dialogue? Check.
I vote we kill him, then we throw him overboard.
Well, we don't vote here. It's not a democracy.
Looks badass with a gun? Check. Has a realistic chance at getting the girl? Check. That goddamn smile. Once we get the setup and pleasantries out of the way, the team boards the ship and the film elevates to a cruising altitude of awesome. It's a cat and mouse game between the monster and the heroes, which isn't exactly correct, as everyone here is shady at best. The transport crew consists of Captain Finnegan, the mechanic Joey, and second in command Layla. Since they seem to only deal with seedy shadow men with their ask no questions, just pay up life motto, they are immediately kidnapped by the mercenaries. Not only is there an external threat, but nobody can really trust or work together, making matters even worse. People start getting picked off in a decently gory fashion, which is unexpected. Big budget movies weren't known for their blood in the late 90s. Billy gets partially digested, and Vivo gets the axe. When the monster is stalking its prey, the film builds its tension well. For the amount of quips thrown in, you're never really scared, but you're not supposed to be. As a tentacle monster, we mostly get quick shots when it goes in for a kill, and it mostly affects its environment when it chases. Having the walls and doors bend in, or the floor grates bust up, was a cool detail. With a fully CGI monster, I'm thankful that these parts were fully practical in-camera effects. The monster isn't limited to any space either. It can move at lightning speed and squeeze in almost anywhere, so nobody's safe, even on the shitter. Since the story put enough effort into why this creature may exist, it makes the big reveal that much cooler. Yeah, effect-wise it's not great, but having you think it's multiple worm creatures, to find out it's this giant beast living in the bow of the ship digesting hundreds of people.
It's amazing.
Though every film since, always, wants to have a sequel, even the cliffhanger here is brilliant and would have been an amazing second film. After disintegrating the Kraken hybrid, the surviving three land on a prehistoric island that has an actual live volcano and another monster. Yes, and probably in smoke form. When Deep Rising wants to be fun horror, it excels. And when it's time to be a big action flick with explosions and gunplay, it's still on point. Yeah, no one seems to run out of bullets, and I'm not even sure their portable miniguns are real, but I don't care. There's even a small scene where the mercenaries first try the guns out and start blowing shit up for the fun of it.
Fuck me, man.
It's the most realistic scene in the film hands down. It embodies the essence of this entire experience. As fun and aware as this film is, I do seem to hear the same complaints. The monster being fully CGI was definitely a misstep, and the technology wasn't up to par to fully realize what the film really needed. That being said, besides the full reveal at the end, most of the tentacle scenes look decent now. Not great, but I've seen similar to worse from far bigger films. 2017 and 1998. 2015 and in 1998. Maybe we should give Deep Rising a bit of credit, as it looks like we have clearly not fully advanced from the late 90s. My only gripe here is that I'm supposed to believe that Joey Pantucci is dating Layla. Really? I have no problem believing in a giant sea creature, but it'll be a cold day in hell where a man like Joey, and I'm sure he's lovely, is ever gonna land someone like Layla. That ain't gonna happen. Director Stephen Sommers basically used this as a beta test for The Mummy. You can see a lot of what made the Brendan Fraser series so successful laid out here. Instead of Fraser, we follow a similar protagonist with Captain and reluctant hero Finnegan. Treat Williams had the swashbuckling charm, commanding presence, and some witty retorts, with those same 90s bangs. Where The Mummy was more of a family-friendly affair, Deep Rising had some balls. In the end, we got a great horror action flick that was light on its toes and aimed to entertain. To hold this film up to a harsher critique would be missing the whole point. This film was influenced by some of the 80s best, and still never needed to go full tongue-in-cheek for approval, or present itself as pretentious and art house. No. We end this tale on a bright yellow jet ski, speeding through an exploding, sinking pleasure cruise, being chased by a giant squid monster. You're goddamn right.
Okay, I'll say it one more time for the hearing impaired.
You're goddamn right.